Hi there, Coach Chris, Team Critical Bench, head strength coach here, and I'm feeling 40 strong. So I'm ready to talk to my good friend Rick about all the many wonderful things that we came up with for this program.
Perfect, you bet. So yeah, Chris, you and I, chatted when I was in Tampa Bay in January, and we kind of hung out and had a good time and worked on the Forward Head Posture Fix product. And both of us are in our 40s, and we kind of remember our 20s and 30s. And we're going to kind of talk about in this interview about training in your 40s or training over 40. Now, when it comes to your 40s or over your 40s, what can you do to make your 40s your best decade ever?
Best decade ever. Okay, well, I'm newly in my 40s, right?
Oh,
So
you're just nearly in there. Okay.
yeah, I'm a
Okay.
baby in my 40s. I'm 40 as of January. So um, I think I saw this this wave coming, off in the horizon. It's been coming towards the shore for a while. I think it was right around when I hit 38 or 39, and I just realized that I could still push myself pretty hard and still really enjoy a lot of the physical things that I've done my whole life, but I have to be a little bit more mindful. I have to, I have to get more sleep. I have to take that day off where I don't do anything. I have to not lift as heavy or as often. I really need to dial in my nutrition. I mean, so you can't get away with things like you once did and
Yeah.
like you wish you once could. But the cool thing is we're older and we're wiser,
Yeah.
and I think we're more in touch with our bodies, more in tune with our bodies than when we were 20 years old. Um, I don't think we spent a lot of time really thinking about, we were spending a lot of time in a gym and doing a lot of physical things, but I don't think we were really had a good understanding of how our body performed and worked. And I mean, I wish I knew what I know now 20 years ago. I mean, and could have applied that, right? So, I think that intelligence that real terrific understanding of your body is what can make your 40s your best decade ever, because you also come to that realization that I'm at a kind of a breaking point in my life where if I really don't get control of myself, my physical body and my mental state, that I could really go way off course fast.
Yeah. I mean, definitely, you can kind of see it that that the 40s are kind of an important time. Like if you haven't had good control of things in your 30s,
Yeah.
really, you can change in a negative way and age a lot faster if you don't really have good control in your 40s.
Yeah, and you see it all around you.
Yeah.
I mean, you see people that in a matter of a year can just completely transform. Unfortunately, sometimes for the better, but a
Yeah.
lot of times it's not that way. And you're like, wow,
Yeah.
they don't even look 40 anymore. They look like they jumped right through their 40s, and it's sad, but it's within our control. That's what's really neat about this program.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Now, so we kind of talk about how to make the 40s your best decade ever. Now, what are some like training mistakes that guys in their 40s make, and what are some
Well,
mistakes they make?
I think I already kind of touched on it, is that we can't just assume that we can go into the gym, as a guy who likes to lift weights and just do what we always did. Um, if I've learned anything, I've learned the value of a good warm up and a lot of mobility work, because the muscles take a little bit longer to be primed, and you lose. We sit a lot more as we get older too. You're just not as just active throughout the day like we once were. We were walking more, running more, biking more, whatever, when we were younger, just because we had the time for that. And when we're older, a lot of us are sitting more. We're more stationary. So my body needs a lot more mobility work before I can even really get the best out of it. So I find that, with a good warm up and good mobility routine, I mean, that could be 30 minutes sometimes. If you're really going to try and push it and try and really, have like a really hard kettlebell training session or something like that, I really need to get myself, ready to go. So I would say that that's probably one of the number one things that comes to my mind.
Yeah.
And I would say, and you wanted like another another myth or another thing that maybe is true or not true with hitting 40?
I think you covered a bunch of it. I mean,
Yeah.
you just need to consider a little bit more of the recovery side of things, like your nutrition. You have less leeway when it comes to your nutrition. You kind of need the sleep ends up catching up with you. There's also stress and the different types of stress. You kind of need to get the body going, and that helps with a warm up. I think you kind of
eating.
it.
I mean, eating's everything, right? I mean, it's so much of just looking good and feeling good is what we're consuming every single day, and if we're just minimizing those really, and we do go into that in 40 Strong. If we're minimizing those processed foods and the sugars and stuff, the simple sugars, and we're eating more, really real food, stuff that's going to find on the outskirts of the store, right? All the fresh stuff, and just minimize that sugar and saturated fat intake, and increase your water. I mean, you're going to be good, but it's consistency. Most people give up too quick. They throw in the towel after just a matter of a few weeks, if they're not getting the results that they're looking for. So I think as we get older too, maybe, we are a little bit more patient in some regards, at least in certain stages or certain areas of our life, we're more patient. So we have to also be patient with when we've maybe started to eat a little bit cleaner, that it is going to take several weeks, if not several months, to really see the benefits of that.
Yeah, definitely. And if you fall off the wagon, just you write it off and get back on.
Yeah, people really sometimes they sell themselves short. They have one bad night or one bad day of just either with their friends or with their family, they're celebrating whatever, and they've really gone just crazy amount of calories, and they feel awful. And don't. You wake up, it's a new day. All it takes is one good day of eating clean, and you feel like I'm back on a roll again.
Yeah.
So it's you can't get down about it and get on yourself for having a bad moment. We all have those those days and those moments. Just normal.
Definitely.
And that goes hand in hand with watching the weight on the scale. What ends up happening is, again, you're neglecting what's actually happening to your body composition.